I'm just saying.
I don't want them to have a sword like they did in race 1.
Yeah, they got that sword pretty early last race here. I'm not feeling that one. I need struggle. And, of course, they're going off right now. So, Uncle, I'm going to need you not to have your sword on. UK, thanks. You know, this kind of stuff I'm talking about.
All crystals in the light world.
Well. So we got a pretty powerful weapon to start off with. I guess it's not a sword, but triple crystal, and it's going to be interesting to see how this works out.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing here, Big John. Don't cancel your dinner plans. This looks like, based on everything we're seeing so far, could be a lightning fast seed. So let's go ahead and see what the uncle has in store. It's not going to be a sword this time. It's going to be the bow.
Wow. How joyous is that?
So which one of these runners is going to make the play for Eastern when they're done with this?
Oh, boy. I feel like Andy may make that Eastern play. You know, PinkKittyRose known for her unique routing and, you know, divergence from what maybe the norm a lot of times. So, I don't know. Maybe Andy might make that swing over there depending on what he finds, you know, a little early in the seed. So, boy, two weapons like that. Wow.
Let's make this seed a whole lot easier. We already gave him a bomb. We saw that come down to a bomb thing. Andy ended up getting no bombs and escape. PinkKittyRose got a bomb and escape, although it was all just bombs away inside the 3 chest in the that portion of the escape. But let's get him a lamp now. Let's just make this a completely easy mode now.
I don't want that. Not from these players.
I don't want it either, but this is the way the thing's starting off.
We just had the previous game. For those who missed, you know, our first game, literally sub 80 minutes for completion. No. We got time to fill out on the speed gaming channel, man. So we need some longevity to these runs here.
I agree with you.
You know, I'm talking about we need to dip every dungeon, you know, near Hundo. In fact, which we didn't have, you know, maybe we should add a little Ago or maybe pet hype to this, you know.
You know, we haven't seen a ped hype seed in a long time. Let's go ahead and have that here.
Yeah, it's time for it. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
there's
God.
that moon pearl. Oh, boy. Maybe my dream is unfolding here. Well, I tell you. Now, interesting enough, one of the biggest problems in the first seed, first race they did was trying to find those Titans. You know, we're struggling. We had a path divergence, which literally was swung the race in PKR's favor. But I don't want that early Dark World access. I want Struggle Bus.
We'll have a heart container. That's definitely not Struggle Bus.
Yeah.
Let's just throw single rupees inside the 2 chests inside the last room of escape and throw the single arrow in there at the same time.
Yeah, keep their money count low. Keep the money and bomb count low. We need stress. I don't force them to kind of go out of from their normal, like, you know, let's go check out the village, and because we can't do it, you know, no bottles. Let Sick Kid be a mystery for a long time.
So,
oh man,
you know, let's make them struggle. Let's make them stress. Let's not make the commentators stress.
But see, we got to ease them no matter what. They're the ones like, oh my God, I got to make sure. Well, especially Andy, he's got to tie this up, man, because if Andy doesn't win this, that's it. You know, Allegiance is not going to take this victory. So, and PKR's, I love how PKR in the previous races she was doing, she was saying about, I don't know how did I get this far? And next thing you know, she's 1 win away from the finals right now.
Winner of this matchup here between PinkKittyRose and Andy, they'll face off against the winner of the other semifinal, Hippo versus Crystal's Owen, Game 1, Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yep. So it's going to be some good action this week, you all. So make sure you don't miss out. Bookmark, set your timers, and all that good stuff, because the best is the best of the best right here. These are our final 4, soon to be final 2.
And let me tell you this, we started off with 500 plus people in this tournament. These people have definitely earned their way into this position. Single rupee, there's one.
You know, in fact, speaking about how long this tournament was, Do you realize that when this tournament started, there were frost warnings in the United States, and now we have a heat wave? That's just how long this has been going on.
And, you know, if this tournament didn't end next week, we'd be starting to talk about maybe possible more frost advisories.
Boy, the year tournament.
Yeah.
I'm sure people wouldn't mind.
Oh, there's about 22,000 people who are living this up right now.
Oh yeah, man. This is the stuff we live for. It's been many wins, losses, all kinds of fun and shenanigans. Oh boy. Well. So, speaking of Eastern, you know, we have Eastern now being fully clear, but with having that bow already in play.
And it is Logic Crystal too.
Mm-hmm. So we might see that taken care of a little early here.
They don't have the rupees at this point, but they definitely have a lot of other equipment.
Yeah, indeed they do. Yeah, we're hurting on the financial department.
551 out of escape here for Andy. That's a pretty good time here. 5 rupees here, and we're still 20 rupees short of buying bombs. 70 rupees short of being able to buy that bottle vendor.
Yeah, of course everybody knows, you know, we got a ton of chests we can check in Kakariko without even needing any bombs, so maybe we can pick up a 3-piece somewhere. And again, his first check of the overworld.
Looks like both of these runners are going to head right straight to the Lost Woods. Oh no, PinkKittyRose heading north. She wants to see what's at that lumberjack, especially now that she got that lamp.
Yeah, and it's very interesting, man. We have seen races, honestly, won and lost for not knowing what was here early. It's very interesting how this randomized. You know, this is one of those things where it's been a little bit of route divergence to a lot of players, you know, saying skipping the lumberjack early check, just check it when you think you need to, versus just doing the typical, you know, head up here, head through Lost Woods, work your way downwards.
Not an Aga required seed.
Yep, so far, we don't know. Maybe we'll do some of this, you know, nice little RNG bad placement of items, and hey, making that Aga 1 climb, which I hope we do.
All we need is a glove upgrade, and there's our exit from needing to go see Aghanim at this point. So let's hope for Dark World power gloves.
Yeah, indeed. So here we go. Into the village we go. Making our first stop by Thieves' Hut. Again, having that 1 bomb so we can take care of all 5 of these items here.
You know, the funny thing is, John, is the fact that when they do go to the Dark World, well, they still need to have a sword and a cape or 2 swords in order to go to Ag at this point, but they would have full clearing ability to go through the Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, that is true. So maybe we can be nice to pick up a mirror and you can just double back and take care of both sides, especially if that crystal happens to be there.
Arrows on the alien island here. PinkKittyRose goes up and buys some bombs. Sandy, he's going to have to get some more bombs before he checks anywhere else, but he'll check a couple of spots here before he does that.
Yeah,
there's our glove.
He's got 1 cent to spare after his couple of purchases.
Of course, let's give him the glove at this point. That's our Dark World access, by the way.
God dog it, I swear. I can't get a break. Sub 10-minute Dark World.
John, we haven't looked at that map for the Dark World yet. We could still have Ice Rod needed for Turtle Rock.
That is indeed true here. We'll see it in probably a little while.
Israel Meyer turns out to be the green pendant.
Those are the things we hope for right there. Again, blue Kanye up in there in the back of Sasha Rahala's back area. And PKR going to be our first player to head over into Eastern fully clearable. And let's see if it pays off. Already got that route divergence.
And that's something that's not to be surprised here in the fact that with what we've seen from PinkKittyRose throughout this entire bracket stage of the tournament, as Andy continues to explore the traditional route of Kakariko Village, that power glove's the only thing we've really seen. Well, we've seen a medallion as well, but that power... Oh, there's a sword.
Mm-hmm. You know, I tell you what, I don't know about you, but as a viewer, it is very interesting to see when you have someone that just doesn't play the routes the same as a lot of players, because it just makes you see how, like, you know, two different paths can just come back together, or maybe, you know, yield a winner or a loser because of just that route that works. I just really like that, you know, versus like okay, they're in the same room, let's who can finish it first, but it really makes you kind of observe them a lot more in depth when they just do these completely different routes.
Look like, what was that? 10 arrows on the library shelf. So let's. Oh, there's the boots. I was gonna say boots not required. Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm out of here. Thank you.
Well, I tell you what. Interesting enough, that Eastman is going to at least give a little speed advantage for PKR until Andy makes that dip over there. Something I'm sure he doesn't mind having. And looks like he's going to go down to the south.
Yep. Continuing of the conventional route here, heading on over towards the dam as well as the mini Moldorm cave.
Tell you just don't realize, you know, unless you have some, you know, some bad routing errors, or, you know, maybe some checks that just don't pan out, having those shoes, I mean, that speed advantage can really add up the longer the other player has them.
Compass, so PinkKittyRose, are we heading straight to the Armos Knights? No, we are not. Let's head to the Vanilla Big Key location.
Yeah, definitely don't want to have the chance of risking out missing something that might be good in here. That's just... Of course, you never know. These gambles do pay off, but gambles can also hurt you if you just make the wrong one. And you're not interested.
Yeah, definitely did not want that piece of heart. So head on over towards the mini Moldorm cave.
Alrighty. Pick your couple of chests out. So let's see here. Let's see if the real Hype Cave has moved its way into the Light World, where it seems to have been a lot lately, because Hype Cave ain't been all that lately in a lot of seeds I've seen.
So the most important thing that we saw here in Eastern is the boots. And he finishes off mini Moldorm here, 20 rupees, 20 rupees. There's the mirror. And a couple of pieces of heart.
All right, mirror the holly of that, obviously. So we'll see. So obviously Andy has that chance now. If Pod happens to be a crystal, can do those back to back.
Yeah, and that's something definite of note here is the fact that he does have Dark World access at this point. He can do Palace of Darkness and Eastern in one foul swoop there.
Yep. And of course, for those who may have missed it, we have our first glove on the bottle vendor. That's going to be interesting to see how, because, you know, PR kind of does Kakariko a little. You know, you don't really know when she's going to do that, honestly. She has a very unique strat here, and the sooner she can get it, the better. That's for sure.
So Andy getting the bomb upgrade out of the Ice Rod Cave. That is it for him. Let's see where he heads to next. And the PinkKittyRose, the first of the runners to finish off a dungeon, and Andy is heading... Can we get some hype in here, John?
Hype? This is not a GDQ. I don't know. Hype? Well, hype? I don't know. I mean, it can't be no worse than the last race it did.
Yeah.
The chat collectively gave it a 0 out of 10. We had some negative scores from a couple of our Russian viewers, so I don't know.
Oh, Turtle Rock is also a pendant and also swamp.
Isn't that just joyous? All right, get your troll items on Laser Bridge. Guess it's going right now.
And here's the South Shore check for PinkKittyRose, and we find bombs. Yay.
The reimbursement.
The Titan's Mitt.
Well, definitely not 0 out of 10. It's no 10 out of 10, but definitely something that we need, no doubt.
So PinkKittyRose is going to be picking up her mirror right now as Andy's about to do the back-to-back combo of Eastern and the Palace of Darkness. So that's going to save him a little bit of time as far as walking is concerned.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely don't want to have to kind of go back in that area twice if we don't have to. Looks like he might be heading to check Pyramid and get that out of the way, get that lone check.
Totally makes sense as PinkKittyRose is heading on over towards the Ice Rod Cave. Will get disappointed with the bomb upgrade. And let's see what we have on top of the pyramid here for Andy. And it turns out, well, that's a bottle. That's our first bottle of the seed.
And it's going to pick it up, you know. We might need to go check out our sick child there. We'll see. But in the meantime, PKR disappointment incoming right about now.
And it looks like PinkKittyRose is setting up a water dash here as she heads over towards the edge. So she's going to walk over the edge and doesn't actually need to make it this finite here, but ends up walking along the edge. That stores a water dash, and we'll see it when she pops into the water.
And, boy, trying to avoid that damage there.
Yep, so she walks along the edge, now jumps into the water. Now she can go ahead and dash throughout the entire water here as far as she wants to go. So she's going to use this to head on over to the hobo, and then she'll do a fake flipper that gets her over into the Zora area. Obviously, with 95 rupees, she's not going all the way to Zora.
Yep, chat mesmerized by that. Because unfortunately, that is not any benefit.
Although she is not going to go all the way to Zora because she doesn't have the rupees, so she's going to skip those 3 items for now, as Andy does check the back 3 of Sahasrahla, which is a good decision when you're routing it this way.
Indeed, and looks like PKR is going to go. We're going down here. We're going to go take to our desert area, looks like.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised for PinkKittyRose if this is a dam check into Agina, because we saw that from her in the first game. She did this kind of route as well.
Yeah, that one, Agina's Cave, that one out just all by itself, and you typically just don't, it's just so far. It's always by itself, and, you know, usually disappointing, but that's the kind of stuff that will yield the item you're looking for. Of course, right now, she needs to go get her way to the bottle salesman, at least get the gloves in play, because Andy's already sitting there with Titans.
So Andy here in the Palace of Darkness gets the key out of that first chest. But this is a completable dungeon. He's going to be able to do both of these dungeons together. Just the unfortunate thing is he won't have boots, but he'll have him when he goes to Eastern to find bombs on the Pyramid Ledge. Or not the Pyramid Ledge, the Desert Ledge.
Yeah, so no interest there, but let's see what Agina has up in this cave here. Thanks to those taking that time to get this out the way. Hopefully it pays off. Don't like going here for nothing, that's for sure.
But this time, you're not going there for nothing. You're going there for 20 rupees.
Well, slowly but surely building my bank balance here. So going back, saving quit into the house, and probably going to. This is interesting. This is what she did the previous seed, making that southern routing.
Yeah, if I'm looking this correct, she's going to try to get herself... Well, nope, never mind. I thought maybe she was going to try to get herself the possible 50-50 chance at the bombs underneath those bushes, but the guards were in her way, so nope. And here's the Kakariko check for PinkKittyRose as Andy finds nothing beyond the mimics. And we'll head towards the back where usually all the items are.
Yeah, oh boy, when pod is loaded, isn't it always the best thing? Of course, it is a crystal, so at least it's a good thing that you need to do this anyway. And PKR might be picking up that glove very soon. He's got the 100 rupees, so probably for sure going to get that. I don't know, man. That 300 rupees, what do you think? Would you pick up 300 rupees over there in the maze? I don't know.
For 300 rupees in the maze at this early in the run, yes. Obviously, if you're getting super late in the run, probably not, but you never know when the rupees are going to be needed.
Yeah, especially we only end up 20 at a time here with these reds.
I mean, for all we know, Zora could have the fire rod.
Yep. Or is most likely just a lovely life lesson on how to not spend your money on a random fish in the water.
I hate when that fish in the water gives me a single arrow.
Boys, here. Hope you enjoy your purchase.
No buyer's remorse.
Oh my goodness. I would love to have the ability for Zora to actually be able to chat here on Twitch and just literally just say, do we have any accounts that are called like Zorafish and just bust out debated? I really would love that. Speaking of money, Andy's going to make sure he gets all these 5s. He's going to build that stash.
I like this play, though.
Yeah?
Andy taking a look at his key count, realizes that he's got 3 keys, so he goes into the harmless hellway. Only 10 arrows inside of it, though.
Yeah. All right. Getting at the other medallion. So again, kind of piggybacking off Andy right now. Again, kind of back to back here. A little bit.
Right.
Let's see. Ooh.
And right now, we know that the only medallion that they may possibly need is Bombos, and that's only if Fire Rod is beyond the ice palace. But at this point, we don't know that. We don't know if we have to go into any of the pendant dungeons.
Yeah, that is true. And again, I'm hoping they are. You know, we had a lot of good weapons very, very early on. Already having a sword in play, so I would not rule it out, not one bit. You know. Right now, the seat is a little too open. You know, they got plenty of places they can go. You know, a lot of dungeons are clearable at the moment here. You know, access. So there's going to be that one item. We'll soon find out what it is.
This is one of those kind of seeds where, you know, you have so many options where you can go, and this is where one runner will get lucky, the other runner maybe not. And we'll get to see whether or not Andy gets lucky. Unfortunately, he hasn't seen anything of progression here inside of this Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that's the kind of thing where, you know, it's kind of like dipping in the swamp, especially when swamp is a pendant and you've got 6 items and all 6 have to be nothing of any kind of assistance. So
I like this idea for PinkKittyRose. We're going to go Ether Strats to get rid of the Gibdos.
Yeah, no one has time to deal with those.
Well, especially when they like to bother you when you try to pull this block here. So, you know, get them out of the way and just get rid of them and not even have them become a part of the problem by use of that ether. So good job for PinkKittyRose using that.
Indeed. And, of course, getting a full heart out there, plus 1 heart, uses the hand to just quickly X out the level. And looks like we're going to have to roll it backwards because can't do too much else.
Yeah, PinkKittyRose has pretty much come to the end point of where anything could be on that side without the Fire Rod, as we'll head through the front section of Skullwoods, where there possibly is that second item.
Well, it could be. Meanwhile, Andy on that Helmsaur fight here. Again, using that hammer to wheel away. There should be no problem here. Don't really have the best sword, but hey, we can get it done.
Nice fight with Helmsaur King right there for Andy. PinkKittyRose coming to the conclusion that the second item is beyond the Fire Rod. Here in Skullwoods, Piece of Heart, the final item inside of Palace of Darkness. Andy gets his first crystal, and he will be able to mirror and get his second crystal in a moment.
Yep, indeed. That's going to PKR, even though she has these boots, she's got to find some stuff. She's got to get some stuff going here. Kind of, you know, dead end there, and oh my goodness, for that matter, you know, that last item could be sitting in the big chest, so we'll have to go to the back again just to come back forward, and oh.
Well, there's PinkKittyRose's first bottle.
So she has that mirror, so she can get that sick kid check, you know, pretty soon if she wants to.
She may go ahead and opt to do that when she does Battle Hut or Bombable Hut in just a moment. But let's first play a game. There's a single arrow. There's a piece of heart, the reward, and that does fill up a new heart container for her. As Andy getting the big key out of the Eastern Palace. Next chest he checks will have his boots.
And he will be, I'm sure, thrilled here. Again, he's trying to play catch up here. Andy is behind 1 game on that first game, one that was played just before this one began. He's trying to force this game 3 here. He's going to need a little good routing and, of course, a little good luck here in order to make sure he does not get eliminated from this tournament.
And if Game 3 is required, it will be played at a date and time to be announced later. These two have not set up a time for that Game 3. There's the boots for Andy. He can now go fast.
Yeah, gotta go fast. Picking up that big 300. Getting a little close to our Zora requirements if need be. And there are all of our medallions, so we don't have to worry about any medallion dungeons now.
Ice Rod and Quake here in Thieves Town win number 1. Both Mire and Turtle Rock are pendant dungeons, and you don't want to touch Trinex at all.
What you think? What do you think, man? I'm telling you, we're building up the story of that essential item. I mean, in fact, one item in both dungeons just to make it more interesting. Hey, that's what I'm looking for, personally. I'm just saying.
Those are the two most interesting items we've seen in the last about 10 minutes. I mean, the first 15 minutes of this seed was completely stacked.
Oh, yeah, indeed it was. I tell you have to balance these seeds out, you know. No one's going to get that God seed where everything just works out perfectly, you know. It's always that that's going to literally slow your speed down, regardless if we have boots or not.
We'll have to talk to VTorp about this.
Don't worry, it's been corrected in version 30, I'm sure. Yep. Or uncorrected, I'm not sure how to call it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we want to call that.
Yeah. So of course our Fire Rod, obviously we're going to need to find that one for the sake of Skull Woods at some point. Getting a nice little blue mail again, a little defense upgrade over there for PKR.
And I believe, if I was counting correctly, that's all 4 items inside this Thieves Town. So PinkKittyRose can just go right straight to blind. Just get the maiden out of the cell, bring her upstairs. Doesn't have to check any more chests.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting how that worked out again, because we just saw in the previous race, you know, being able to go into Swamp and not even have to touch the left side. You know, not even in the go mode, but just the way those items fell. And it's the best thing ever, you know? So here we go. Going to pick it up, and I already know, as you just said, no items were left. So boss fight for Andy. PKR's boss fight incoming.
And there's that fight complete. Picks up his bat, picks up his second crystal. So temporarily he has a crystal lead over PinkKittyRose, but PinkKittyRose is 9 blind hits away from getting her second.
Yep, and of course at this skill level, this fight is just a cakewalk. No threat here. Already getting all 3 hits per cycle. Of course, everybody knows that regardless of what zero level you have, it's always 3 hits per cycle and 9 hits in total, and that will be the end of blind.
So there's the fight complete for PinkKittyRose. Now Andy, he is heading to King's Tomb now. And this time he actually does have the Titans to check this spot.
Yep, taking advantage of those boots, of course, needing that as well. And let's see, the little visit will pay off here. Well, Sanctuary Heart.
Yeah, just a little bit away from its normal home. Maybe about you'd call that about 100 feet?
Yeah, a little strong windstorm came by and just kind of blew it out the church and just, you know. So again, checking another one of those boots locations.
Yeah, PinkKittyRose pulls out the mirror, so she's about to check Sick Kid right now. And there's another bottle filled with red goo for Andy. And he's going to be heading over right where PinkKittyRose is at this point. Sick Kid, what do you got for us? Nope, Andy's not doing that. Hook shot at the Sick Kid!
Well, that's pretty good. So now we have quite a bit of stuff up. Man.
And that's bad news for Andy, because look where he's going.
Yeah, Andy, unfortunately. Oh. Yeah. Andy would have loved to combine this with that Titans. Unfortunately, could have let him do all those checks up there, but I guess they both kind of at a disadvantage here because both of them cannot check everything at the moment. You know, PK are still missing that other glove upgrade.
Yep, she's going to go ahead and check right now at Lumberjack Cave, and Andy gets dead rocked.
Joy. Hover can't save you from that one, bruh.
Piece of heart from the old man.
Alright, not interested in that 5-bomb upgrade.
You know, what am I talking about? You know, this wouldn't be such a big problem for Andy if the man didn't know how to hover.
Well, I'm sorry, man. We don't have no crazy mess like Rock's Feather in this game yet, so he ain't gonna be doing nothing like that. You're gonna sit there and weird out like all of us other common folk.
So if Andy does hover Hookshot Cave, that negates this issue that we're talking about in regards to not getting to Sick Kid before going up to the mountain, as he has in the Tower of Para.
Why do that stuff? You know, I don't want to have to worry about trying to figure out, okay, yeah, you broke logic to get this. Oh my goodness.
Fire Rod and Hera!
What even? Fire Rod. Well, obtaining both of our fire sources here, so man oh man. PKR wish he had that one. She'll have it soon, maybe.
Hey John.
Yeah.
I don't know how to tell you this, but we're now just a sword upgrade away from Go mode.
Yeah, ain't that a blip? Ain't that a blip?
Well, rather no mode, because we're still missing stuff on both sides.
Yeah. Just as I bust out the Oprah, wow. Just wow. But don't worry, PKR will soon obtain that just as well. Of course, she does have that hook shot, but we don't have the glove.
Oh, right. Chat reminding me. We still need either a book or a flute. So there goes any of that logic. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I mean, we might want a flute. I mean,
we never saw the flute in the last seed, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta get to desert some way, form, or fashion here. So, you know, of course, for those who don't know, obviously, if Andy finds the flute, he can just lift up the rock, walk up, mirror back, go on desert the back way. Or if we have a book, we can use the front door like we should be using in the first place.
These are speedrunners. Why do we want to play the game sensibly?
Because no, we don't. We just don't want to.
Exactly.
We have to cheat to win. That's what it is.
Let's not call it cheating. Let's just say breaking the game.
Advanced maneuvers. I mean, at the end of the day, all we're doing is pressing buttons.
Advanced maneuvers. I like that.
We're just pressing buttons on the controller. Nothing special. Anybody can do it.
Moldorm's gonna have the item.
Indeed, it is. Yeah, so all of our players are playing fair and square. Of course, there are some things that are a little untraditional that are perfectly permissible in NMG style gameplay.
Quake was inside of Thieves Town, right together with the ice rod as Andy tries to hit 3 hammer hits on Moldorm, takes him down. A whole bunch of love inside Paradox Cave for PinkKittyRose, and Moldorm drops the sword upgrade.
Well, that's cool. Nothing wrong with a little master sword. Getting closer and closer, eh? Alrighty. Yes, we are in mode. Yes, we're in a mode. Indeed we are.
We're in book it mode.
Yeah.
Or to the flute mode. Either or.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just has these things for bopping these dead rocks lately. Dude, no holds barred when you're trying to sit here and tie this match at 1-1. Alrighty. No, Andy's not in go mode as of yet. No.
Neither of these runners are in that mode at this point. PinkKittyRose here is at a disadvantage in the fact that she's up here without the Tinesmith. So if Andy finds something in either the Super Bunny Cave or the Hookshot Cave, Andy takes a little bit of an advantage from PinkKittyRose because that means she'll have to come back up this mountain.
Mm-hmm. Not a fan of having to climb Death Mountain again. We don't need to, but that's the way it happens.
Hey, there's Lover.
And he's pressing buttons again.
He's pushing buttons in rapid succession. Time to head to the Dark World.
Alrighty. So, odds are you'll probably see a little bit more of what was just demonstrated for those. I mean, literally, his fingers are built-in game code. It's just amazing.
They are.
No, all right. So, of course, oh man. So, of course, using a mirror inside a cave, mirror has no effect, and for some reason, amazing programmers, the end result is block cancellation that just disappears with thin air. All right, so Super Bunny Cave yielding a pair of heart pieces. So, fun time, eh?
All right, well, Big John, I think it's about time for us to say hello to the finger mashing of Andy. It is time for Hookshot Cave.
Yeah. So, of course, the first one is always in logic if you have the boost. You can bonk across to get this one, as you see, lovely demonstrated. But the other three, not so much if you don't have Hookshot.
Here we go. Halfway across, and he is over for some bombs.
Alrighty. No bueno there.
Yeah, so far nothing good coming out of this Hookshot Cave. One more chest to check. He gets it complete here, and the Cane of Samaria!
Wow. So that is a fantastic find.
That was a nice hover there for Andy. Now let's go ahead and see. Oh, no, we're not going to see. He wants to go check Spiral Cave first.
Yep. Man, I tell you, boy, you know, sometimes these little strategies can yield good things.
Well, here's the thing, John.
I know. What are you thinking? You thinking what I'm thinking?
I'm thinking that Turtle Rock might be open.
Yeah, we have that red cane, and well, Andy has 2 of the 3 medallions, unless Bacon is the required medallion.
Which we know is in Thieves Town, which PinkKittyRose has found. As Andy here, it's time to head, I believe, now to Thieves Town.
Yep. So pick up that ice rod, and it looks like we have a likely pendant dip here. In TR, maybe.
Stay tuned, we will see. I wouldn't be surprised if we find something there. And here Andy is about to pick up his hook shot. And Andy thinking to the kid, hey, I just showed you I don't need this at this point. Thank you, though.
Yeah. Yeah, so of course, you know, oh boy. An unexpected fall there. So we got to go try this one again.
Moldorm 1, PinkKittyRose 0.
Yep. Round 2, fight.
And we try to get the hammer, and the hammer in its hitbox makes it extremely hard to try to take it. So, you know, no fault to PinkKittyRose for taking the fall right there. About to pick up the Master Sword, and crystal number 3 done for PinkKittyRose.
Mm-hmm. So, of course, right now, one thing we're really trying to find, obviously, we need to find ourselves a book. We don't have any desert palette access at the moment. So, a book, or for Andy, since he has Titans already, that flute would be quite beneficial.
Well, we do know that PinkKittyRose needs to make it over the Hype Cave at some point in time, pick up her Titan's mitts. She will do that eventually. So, we know that PinkKittyRose is going to be shorted out of getting that Cane of Samaria now. So if that Cane of Samaria becomes something important here for Andy a little bit down the road, maybe he can take an advantage. But PinkKittyRose is checking something that Andy didn't. High Spike Cave.
Mm-hmm. So I'll tell you what, it would be nice to find that flute or book in here. That's for sure. The book would be obviously preferred for her because she doesn't have those Titans.
Well, let's see what we have inside. Just barely gets through and picks up 3 bombs for that effort.
Yep, that area literally bombed. Ugh. So,
That's my line.
Well, look, I'm sorry. You got me on the mic now. Things gonna happen. I'm just saying. Hey.
I thought you were about to tell me that I was too slow.
Maybe once you become a professional speedrunner like myself, you can go faster, right? No, anyway.
Well, PinkKittyRose is about to go pick up some Titan's mitts.
Yeah, but I'm sure she'll be glad to see these. Alrighty, so it's going to be interesting here because this is almost going to come down to who is going to find that book or flute first.
It really is. And that book or flute could be in a lot of different locations. We can tell you where we know that's not going to be. I'm sorry, Big John, but that pedestal dream that you're seeking, dead.
It's just like real life, all my dreams. I'll be all right. I get over it. That's right. Until I play every seed, there's always the hope of those PED plus AGA 1 seeds together in one. All right. So Andy backtracking was already done by PKR, and of course, Deja Vu here for PKR, what Andy's already done.
Yes, he said it's a bottle, and having already found a bottle of her own, has no reason to go pick that up. So, time to head into the Palace of Darkness. So, PinkKittyRose about to find the 5 items inside. We know the 5 items are not necessary to beat this game, but PinkKittyRose doesn't know that.
Yep. Of course, we do know that we do need that valuable crystal.
So, Andy facing off against Blind, about ready to complete dungeon number 4.
Yep, again, it's a very, very free fight.
Especially when you have 15 hearts.
Yeah, you don't want to die. I mean, well, he does have blue mail, so. Yeah, I don't expect any players to ever down a boss. If they do, I would be flabbergasted, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I don't expect either Andy or PinkKittyRose to take 14 fireballs to the face during a blind fight.
You know, sometimes, you know, the pressure of the tournament, you know, causes them to, you know, slip up from time to time on some things they usually don't mess up on. It happens.
Well, yeah, but not 14.
Hey, I'm just saying, sometimes you have a bad day, okay? You know?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You know, bump this game. Just throw your controller across the room somewhere. I don't know, man. Oh boy, I'm trying to think of how problematic we can position the book or the flute to make these people really work.
Laser bridge.
You know,
Have book be on Trinex.
But we have to add something to that mix, something else that prolongs it even more.
Okay, have the shovel be at Trinex and put the magic powder under the dig spot.
Well, see, we don't have swamp access yet because we don't have flippers. So maybe we can put the flippers on Trinex.
Oh yes, yep.
And then we can put like the flute on the left side.
Yes.
But we can build us a lovely, you know, Fox plot line here, and they can actually have good content on the network for once. You know, I'm just saying.
I like the way you think.
I do too, man. That's why I'm going to be a game dev one day when I grow up. I'm telling you.
Well, don't let those dreams die.
Yes, please don't let everyone. I need some dream to look forward to. I'm telling you.
I mean, the pet dream might be dead at this point, but we can keep that dream alive.
That's all right. There are more sprites in this game than a pedestal. I'm telling you that right now, and we're gonna see it because we still have to figure out where it is. Again, these players need to find it. Both players are looking for places they haven't seen, hoping to find one of those two. Again, that's literally the only thing that they need, you know, to really get this going.
Now, don't forget, we only saw one item inside of this Skull Wood, so we are going to get some information here from Andy that we didn't see from PinkKittyRose earlier.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Oh, baby, this will be good.
I hope his Mothula fight's better than the way he aimed that fire rod at the skull, but I know that's his trying to go fast moment right there.
Oh, boy, using a D-pad too hard.
Oh, you have to when you're a master of the hover like Andy is.
I tell you.
Look at him go in that torch. Look at the way he goes in that torch room.
This guy. Slow down! People can't keep up with the stream. Trying to get that key needs to get in this door here.
Well, slow down, we wouldn't have the games done quick.
Well, maybe we don't need to go fast all the time, you know? Slow it down, enjoy the moment, check out the view.
But slowing down is for the interstate.
No, slowing down is for the HOV lanes up here in DC. God.
Especially this time of day.
Dude, I'm telling you. Alright, so a little bit more work having that master sword, but Mouthful is tot, as the Germans will say.
The big key, there it is.
And well, look, this is exactly what we taught, and then we're gonna go back.
Yep.
Joy. I just love doing Skull Woods like this.
Oh, don't forget we also have that little maze chest that I believe Andy will go in and check first. As PinkKittyRose makes her way on over towards the Helmastar King. Andy now has a 5-3 crystal lead on PinkKittyRose at this point, but it all comes down to that one item.
And like I said, with us having so many places to check, you make the wrong checks and someone makes the right one. That 5-3 advantage may not matter.
And so, of course, it is inside that lovely chest, the big chest.
Ah, boy. Struck out to the very last one. Gotta love it. But it could be what we need. I hope it's not.
Good. Skull Woods is good to the last drop. It's like that coffee brand.
Folgers. Good to the last drop? Is that Maxwell House? I feel like I'm promoting people I shouldn't be promoting.
He's trying to help Speed Gaming earn some sponsorships.
Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Alright, so here we go. This dark room, no problem here. Where is the item at? What's in that big chest?
Yeah, it's in the big chest. As PinkKittyRose had already used up all the other chests, so we're about to find out what the second item here in Skull Woods is, as the pug unfortunately takes the fall.
Poor doggy.
Magic powder! Oh, there's our fetch quest.
Yay! Just make sure it ends in something that's not going to be what they want. Thank you.
Did PinkKittyRose check to see what was here on Bumper Cave?
I don't recall if she did or not.
But Andy's not going to let us know what it is either.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for making our job easy. Alrighty, so heading over to the side, we've got Hammer Peg to take care of. First, we have our whole sequence with Chester and Frog the Fred and all that nonsense. Money not interesting. I tell you. Yeah, money is not a concern nowadays.
Now we also have the Mad Batter, and PinkKittyRose is opting not to do Catfish, which is an interesting play only because of what happened in Game 1.
Yep. Catfish was the glove holder. That was literally to make it break on the race right there.
50 rupees inside the digging game for Andy. He says no. PinkKittyRose looks like we are about ready to head on over towards the Zora area.
We help the funds. So a little non-real flipper action here.
And inside K45. Oh, hello, Bacon Sword.
Alrighty. Not required, but always enjoy to have that extra attack power. Meanwhile, Waterfall Cave, we're going to find out what these two are going to yield.
bombs at the Stumpy there, and I did see some rupees come out of the spot right there at the waterfall, but PinkKittyRose heading into Ice Palace.
Yeah, 150 rupees combined over there, and again, ice is required. We do have a crystal there. We've got everything we need to clear it, full of clear for that matter, and 3 items to find, and hopefully we can find that flute or that book. We are in there, like swimwear. Isn't that the phrase?
I suppose so. Let's go ahead and see what the Brett Smith has in store for these runners.
Let's see here.
Hey, red mail.
Alrighty, so we got us a sword upgrade, an armor upgrade, and PKR picks up the cape there. But of course, we did see there was 300 rupees on the bumper cave, so not any benefit for that.
No need for that at this point, as Andy will get ready to powder the magic bat. Let's see what the Mad Hatter has. Or the Mad Batter, rather, and then we'll head on over and trade in the purple chest. There's our first shield.
Whammy. These guys and gals don't need a shield at this level. Please. All right, so again, the path divergence is happening right now. Both of these plays might work out. Might have paid off to go to ice a little early.
Path divergence been going on this entire seed.
Yeah. Somebody's going to strike oil, and someone's just going to strike air. Let's see what happens. As we see what, as I call it, chest to the chest. That's what he has here.
Butter!
God, we're just upgrading S-words all over the place here. Well, in the event that we have a silverless Ganon, it will go quite quickly with this butter action. So meanwhile, PKR is going through here again, trying to go check all these chests here. We have items here to check, and we can't afford to miss them, especially not in ice.
So not much there for Andy, and PinkKittyRose finding one of the items right now in Ice Palace, leaving 2 of them at this point. And so now the question is, will we find something up on Turtle Rock, or will we find something over here in Ice Palace? I mean, Zora could still have something.
Yeah, again, and ironically, we still have those unfound flippers here, and we might have like I said earlier, we may have that flipper leading into something that gives us the flute and/or book, and this is going to be interesting. Andy taking the same approach as PKR did. And going into ice. Nobody waiting for those flippers.
And if the book or the flute turns out to be here in Ice Palace, this now becomes Andy's lead to lose. But we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so right now they're both going to have either the same success or the same failure. Nevertheless, they'll both get a crystal out of it, which is obviously needed. But other than that, any advantage that PKR might have had is going to be negated, that's for sure.
So Red Rupee, that is item number 2 here inside Ice Palace, as Andy does pick up the magic cape. And PinkKittyRose going to go check to see what's in the Ice Tea Room.
So on our side, we're just knowing already what's happening here. From PKR's standpoint, we're going to have to hope. If she wants to win this particular game with Andy having that advantage, we're going to have to probably hope that it's not here, just so that maybe she can go somewhere else that Andy has not been. But
yeah, you are 100% correct on that one here, because PinkKittyRose, if the book or the flute turns out to be in here, that means Andy is in go mode, PinkKittyRose would be in go mode, and take a look at the difference of the swords. That is a huge difference.
Yeah, Master Sword Ganon, no silvers in play. Night and day fights right there.
Hey, Hubbard.
Yeah, he's trying to save a menu, obviously. So,
and so it is not here in Ice Palace. We find a bomb upgrade.
All right, so the mystery goes on. Ma.
So for those who are just tuning in here at the 55-minute mark of this race, this is game 2 of the Pink Kitty Rose versus Andy semifinal. Pink Kitty Rose, 1-0 lead over Andy. We are on a search for literature or an instrument.
Tell you what, this is one of those things where, obviously we know that basically rule out Meyer as being the source of happiness, because we have to have one of those two to even get there. You think, man, Turtle Rock is the play?
I have been saying Turtle Rock since Andy found the Cane of Samaria in Hookshot Cave, and all of this not finding anything is just emphasizing it.
Yeah, it feels like they're going to be doing kind of a back-to-back thing here because, we're beginning to get a little low on our location that we can actually check here. Meyer is basically out of it. Ice, obviously, not going to be what we need. No flippers for Swamp.
So I think Pink Kitty Rose is now going to be doing the boots check here. Actually, no. I take that back. I know where Pink Kitty Rose is going. We're going to finish off Skullwoods.
Yeah, she did not have Fire Rod the first time she was here. So she'll be able to get that crystal, kind of lower that lead there. You know what I was thinking about, man? It's one of those things where, it seems like we're kind of going to Turtle Rock, but I just realized there could be some major deviation. Just imagine if we find flippers very early in Turtle Rock. Do you make that gamble and say, hey, I'm going to go to Swamp instead to see if I find it? Or do we continue through? Because if someone makes the wrong choice, that's a huge time differential there.
You are 100% correct. And that's a very difficult decision to make. Do you go over the 5 remaining items that are in Turtle Rock, or do you go with the 6 items that are in Swamp Palace? It's a very, extremely difficult decision.
Unfortunately, PKR is going to be kind of non-existent because she doesn't have that red cane yet. And she has not made her way to the Hookshot Cave, which she has that Hookshot 4. Alrighty, so PKR about to get that crystal number 6 here.
Yep, for Andy, it will be crystal number 6. And for Pink Kitty Rose, it too will be crystal number 6. And it will be right about the same time for both of these runners.
Yep, just like I said, just one item deviation between, besides sword differentials, of course, which is pretty major when we get to Ganon.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Pink Kitty Rose doesn't head over towards the remainder stuff that's going on with the Village of Outcasts. That's a lot of items that are still up for her. So I would be surprised if we don't get the sword upgrades. As look at that, Cold Star go down for Andy. Look at Storm going down for Pink Kitty Rose. But here's the thing with Pink Kitty Rose. There's still that second item that she's got to find here in Skullwood, so she's got to go back to that big chest.
Yeah, you wouldn't just skip this one. It's only 2 in the first place, and you don't waste your time besides just that one crystal. If I was PKR, I realized, man, I've got this hook shot. I've got this whole area on Death Mountain that I have not been to. We're talking about an hour into the seed. We have access to it, and we know we're missing a very critical item. And I don't know. I would have to say, it's time to go check that Dark Death Mountain out.
I think Andy has something else in mind. Now, I think he's got both red crystals now. I think we're heading for a pyramid bomb.
Yeah, we do have that in play here. So a couple items sitting there. We've already checked the pyramid ledge, but we do have the fairy. Wouldn't it be cool if we had both flute and book there? Wouldn't that be a blip?
Oh my goodness, wouldn't that be extremely interesting? But if I was Andy at this point, after I'm done doing the Pyramid Fairy, if it comes up empty, now we do Catfish, because remember, Catfish was the thing that hurt Andy in game 1.
Yes.
And then do Zora, because we haven't seen what Zora has yet. Neither him or the ledge.
Yeah, we don't know what's there in this. Boy, I tell you, like I said, that access to the ledge, I mean, for Zora has been there for quite some time, but you just don't want to do that when it's by itself.
So with that magic powder pickup there for PinkKittyRose, that does kind of entice PinkKittyRose to head here to the Village of Outcasts. All right, we have Brett Rupee. We have the Silver Arrows.
All right, wow, that's going to be pretty beneficial. Andy definitely having a Ganon advantage. God, butter plus silver. That's trivial fight to the max there. PKR still only get Master Sword, and then, of course, can pick up that same silver upgrade. But is this even randomized? I'm just saying.
50 rupees there for PinkKittyRose. So with the mirror in hand, I think PinkKittyRose is about to go pick up the Bacon Sword.
Wouldn't it be a blip? We had basically vanilla silvers. Could we have vanilla flippers as well?
Oh, wouldn't that be interesting if Zora had the flippers the whole time? As we go to Catfish, this is a check we haven't seen yet.
Bonking for good RNG, apparently.
No, that bonk is actually to help out with the mirror. It helps to speed up the mirror process.
Look, can I go with my... I know what it does. I'm just saying.
Well, in that case, you can go with your answer.
He spit up his failure. That's what happened. So
there we go.
Continue upwards into Zora's domain. What's on the ledge there? No.
Shield upgrade.
Ain't nobody got time for that one.
All right, what scam are we getting from Zora, John?
1 green rupee.
Oh, that would be very, very evil to these runners at this point in time.
As opposed to 2 green rupees, right? You know? Just that, bro.
I know.
All right, incoming disappointment.
Piece of heart.
Yeah, just what these players need. Even more help trying to work on that 16th heart creation.
And so Andy heads to the sanctuary now. And so what is on his mind? And just a quick note here for our tracker, who is B-Links, who's been doing a great job clicking the buttons. Don't forget, we do have the magic cape here for Andy, which I think that's exactly where he may be checking, because I don't think he's checked the bumper ledge yet.
Yeah. PKR did get a glimpse of with the 300 up there. Yeah, I'm telling you, I've seen so many seasons. I'm like you said earlier, I'm getting that really strong vibe to go to Turtle Rock. You know, it's one of those things. It's just you're trying to minimize your tricks up Death Mountain. You know, these players have been there a time or two, and you know we're starting to get dwindling down to these finite checks. You know, we don't have anything much left here.
So there's Andy. He's going to see that it's the 300 rupees. Ducks on down. He's going to go check the graveyard ledge, which we've already seen from PinkKittyRose. So this seed now is screaming even louder, Turtle Rock.
Yeah, this is just a matter of who's going to make that play first. And the thing is, even if PKR goes there first, at least she's not first. She have level 3 sword, which is a lot better. But if PKR finds this, I mean, Andy still has that silver. You know, it's not as bad as it was with her having tempered now, but if she's going to make that move, she's going to make it now. Otherwise, Andy's going to tie this up.
Yeah, this is where Andy's got to go to the mountain. He's got to go to the mountain, and here we go.
Yeah, so this will probably be it right here. Like I said, the only way this can really deviate is if we happen to introduce flippers into play.
I know, and that would be extremely rude at this point. As Andy heads up to the mountain, he's already checked the stuff on East Death Mountain. Don't forget PinkKittyRose without the Cane of Samaria. That may be keeping her away from East Death Mountain, East Dark Death Mountain at this point.
And East Dark Death Mountain, East Death Dark Mountain, whichever way, that's where she needs to go to get that red cane. They're just sitting there waiting for pickup.
So I think PinkKittyRose may be going to check that pyramid bomb at this point, which means that she will be on the same offensive level that Andy is at this point. But I think Andy may be a few steps ahead of her in regards to where he is compared to where she is. Because Andy now, his only play is Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. This is the inevitable is here now, and he's going to be the first to make that play. This might be a very, very valuable play for him to try to make this 1-all in this semifinals match, best of 3, trying to force game 3. Not ready to go home yet.
So PinkKittyRose at this point, you know, she's going to probably get up to the mountain about 4 minutes after Andy heads up to the mountain as he tries to do the dupe glitch here and gets it in time.
Look at there. Look at there. These
but
strats,
even when PinkKittyRose goes up to Death Mountain, though, she's still got to pick up the Cane of Samaria out of the hookshot cave, because right then, otherwise, she's got no access to the Turtle Rock.
Yeah, can't do anything besides walk in the door, and that's about it. But Andy's going to be able to do more right now, as he's going to head in there regardless of medallion. We got all 3 of them.
And it turned out to be Bombos to get inside, as PinkKittyRose is going to do what I figured PinkKittyRose is going to do. Head to Catfish, and then probably we'll get the life lesson out of Zora. So here for Andy, best case scenario, let's just end it now. Get the book, get the flute. As you mentioned, get the flippers. Things get interesting.
Yeah, we do not want to see flippers if you're Andy right now. That's the last thing you want to see, is have to worry about that. Uh-oh, what do I do? You know, one thing about Randomizer is when you're looking for one item, the worst thing you want to do is open up multiple locations, and especially when you have multiple checks left.
Small key in chest number 1 of Turtle Rock. 5 items plus the other item that is in the Mimic Cave.
So I'm pretty sure Andy's not going to leave Turtle Rock. We'll find out. As he ventures dark or deeper in there. So the deeper those flippers are in this dungeon, if they are even here at all, the better for him.
Absolutely. And again, once again, book or flute, that's automatic go mode. There's a key. There's a big key. So we now head to the Chain Chomp room.
King dashing out. Because it looks really, really cool to do, of course.
And there's PinkKittyRose getting the life lesson of the Piece of Heart. So PinkKittyRose is under the same scenario as Andy now, forced to Dark Death Mountain.
Yep. All right, so again, they're starting to trace each other's path here. Again, this is probably, I would say, almost with 100% certainty going to be the right play to fort this somewhere in the way towards the end of this game.
And we find the compass inside the Chain Chomp room, so now we continue the path. Vanilla big key location.
Yeah, and of course, by the way, the swamp is still off limits. We don't have flippers, so that is totally inaccessible.
I am very curious where those flippers are too, because that entire Ice Palace was out of logic.
Yeah, that's interesting. This is, I mean, wow, that's all I can say. Let's put it that way.
Okay, vanilla big key location on the island. Mushroom!
Oh boy, could we have mushroom to flippers to book? Oh, the plot thickens, I tell you. Oh, this is good TV. But wait, no.
Mushroom to shovel, John. Mushroom to shovel.
Mushroom to shovel. Yes. Sweet Jesus, I tell you, man.
Well, you asked for not a quick seed for these two, and I think we've got it.
Yeah, we do. Now, here's the thing, though, because the thing is, okay, we have a potential path divergence, which means if we have that flute there, and it's going to wrap this up. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness gracious. This is... I mean, it's still kind of in Andy's court right now. Again, having that knowledge is, somewhat linear, because obviously we're talking about a pretty quick check to go check out Mushroom. It could widen back open again if we find the flippers.
Mimic Cave!
Decisions. So we have 3 options. Finish up Turtle Rock, which I'm sure he's gonna do, we may have to go to. Oh, I love this game, man. Bump the NBA in their mess.
There's the map. So we know that the roller room's going to have a key. It has to have a key. That also means that Laser Bridge is going to have a key as well.
So how about this? How about the fact that the flippers like literally win Mimic? And I mean, whether or not they're needed, we're going to find out maybe. Or we're going to have to find out. But, ooh, boy. Now, interesting enough, we got Ice Rod pretty early. So it really wasn't like we were kind of stuck out from accessing Turtle Rock, especially with Red King just sitting, right outside. But just the way when there's an item in Mimic that might be the main thing we need. Joy, I tell you.
We know PinkKittyRose likes to gamble, so this is going to be interesting to watch what happens on the left side of the screen when PinkKittyRose gets the mushroom or the flippers. Andy, chest 1, 20 rupees. No. Chest
Whammy.
2, heart. No.
Whammy.
There's the key. We knew the key had to be on this bridge. And 4 bombs. And he does have it with Trinex. Trinex with the 5th and final item of Turtle Rock.
And mind you, we already have the potential for the mushroom check, or we're going to have to go head into Swamp. We're going to find out in about 21 seconds. Maybe not that quick.
Gold sword for Andy means that this Trinex is going to be super fast. John, don't close your eyes. This is going to be a blink and you miss it type of fight.
They're going for the 0 cycle.
Didn't get it because the head just decided to walk away, so he's going to have to deal with the head coming out once.
Unacceptable from this caliber player. Nah, you good, man. Because I'd probably be dead right about now. But anyway, here we go. Getting the early hits here.
Even you with 17 hearts? Was that Ice Rod needed for this seed as Trinex goes down? 20 rupees, no!
Big 20s continue to troll even the best of the players. It ain't over yet, yo.
So PinkKittyRose about to pick up the mushroom.
So we've got mushroom. We have swamp. Totally one of the most item-rich dungeon aside from Ganon's Tower. Just awaiting entry.
And Andy is going to swamp.
So that means Andy is going here the mentality of fully clearing. Or full clear until we find that flute or either find that book. So if this doesn't pan out, I don't know, the time difference between PKR having to go through all the rest of Turtle Rock, I don't know, it's going to really swing back in her favor. Unless she miraculously just gets this and says, you know what? I'm going to gamble it.
And she would have a lot of reasons to do so when she picks up these flippers out of the Mimic Cave, because that would give her a lot of options. And we know it would actually be the right play at this point, but she doesn't. So here's the question. What does she do now with the flippers in hand? And she's pressing forward.
Flippers. So here we go.
So once again, book or flute for go mode.
Don't forget, we still get that old shovel out there.
10-arrow upgrade. I'm so waiting to see that shovel pop up too, John.
Oh man, because if that shovel leads you straight to the wrong one, and oh my word, I'm telling you. So the best thing PKR can hope for right now is to go fast, get Trinex dead, make the decision or make a path choice that Andy did not do first, and hope it turns up with the flute or that book. If it is, you'll advantage her. She's gonna have the advantage. They both got level 4, they both got silvers. Then it may come down to, Ganon find that big key. Who knows?
And if it does come down to execution, my favoring would be Andy slightly over PinkKittyRose. Like Andy does the stuff in his sleep.
Mm-hmm. So here we go. Andy making it to the central room inside of Swamp here. Again, going to check everything. Looking for one of those 2 items. It's interesting enough that we have 2 items to cause go mode. That's so rare to have the situation to have either flute or book.
And it's a case where it could be in either location. Half magic.
It's green, but it's not a book.
Yeah, I know.
You're like, oh, no, that's not it. So Andy's skipping the left side here. Again, that could be time that may be good or might be bad to skip. We're going to find out. As PKR is just outside of Trinex's lair.
Yeah, this totally makes sense for what Andy is doing. This is a lot faster to get to these 3 or 4 chests versus going to the left-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
And PinkKittyRose gets the 0 cycle.
Yep. Look at there. Now, book, yeah, book could be on pedestal, but at that point it wouldn't even matter because, you know, we have to find flute. Because you have to have flute to even be mine in the first place. To get
absolutely.
All right, PKR. This is the moment of truth. Andy's still not finding anything of value here. This is going to be something right here.
And PinkKittyRose doing a save and quit before grabbing the pendant to save herself a few seconds there of the ceremonial pickup. And it looks like PinkKittyRose is following in Andy's footsteps.
Oh boy! So, ooh, the mushroom not getting turned in yet. That could have been the difference here. But they're playing follow the leader again.
Look at Andy with this Argus kill. Look at this. Not going to get the 0 cycle here, but beautiful fight there for Andy.
I tell you what, if I was short one of those items, me personally, there's no reason I would not go turn that mushroom. Oh boy, that's not it.
20 rupees.
Oh boy. So now we had the left side. So he's gonna go back in. In fact, did we get the big key? We didn't check the big chest. So.
Nope. The big key is one of the 3 remaining things up for grabs here. Andy going left-hand side.
So, boy, this is interesting. So, I don't know. Wow. Now, if PKR decides to go left side first, which, you know, that's not a very common strat here. If it's over there, then the lead isn't as big as it may have seemed to have been, but oh boy. Or could all this time Swamp had been a complete bust? The flipper literally the decoy.
Yeah, and it could have very easily been the mushroom at the potion shop.
Boy, nothing is more gutting than full clearing pendant Swamp when nothing you're looking for is there. Yeah, pedestal cannot be the end of this one here. We'd have to find flute first to even do pedestal. Yeah. And all about go mode. Go mode right now is either book or flute.
Wouldn't that be something if they end up in the same dungeon together?
And it's very likely. PKR, you know, if she goes the left side now, it would help.
Yeah, but even if she does, she's still going to be about a minute behind Andy at this stage. And again, I would give Andy the edge as far as combat is concerned, especially with the gold sword and silvers. Yeah. But this is still going to be a wild finish here to get to the end line.
Yeah, unless they have, like I said, unless they have a route divergence in Ganon's Tower, and PKR is going to the back. So Andy's going to maintain that advantage for sure, regardless of if we find it here or not. But we're going to find out right now.
Here we go. And that's a 20 rupee. No.
20, still trolling us.
And the big key. So this little stressful finding of the last item of Swamp continues.
Man, could we prolong this anymore? I'm telling you, just every roundabout way through Swamp. Will this end in utter disappointment? Or we finally get 1 or 2 items we need, man?
I'm going to say no at this point, and maybe we'll still see the shovel.
I'm on a green rupee here.
There's the book, and at 1 hour, 20 minutes even, Andy, the first of these 2 runners into...
Go mode.
And what a quick run here from Swamp for Andy. Now, remember, these runners cannot see where the other one is in regards to this race. So Andy probably thinking, just because of where this book turned out to be, he could still be behind. And remember, he's got to win this race to continue the series.
Mm-hmm. You know, I found this interesting. We're in go mode 1 hour and 20 minutes in. PKR finished the previous seed under 120. Just the difference in these 2 races already. All right, well, poor fungus won't get used. We'll just have to trudge around with it.
It's probably just for bombs anyway.
I tell you. All right, so PKR are going to have disappointment here. Going to have to go back in and literally repeat Andy's footsteps here. Meanwhile, Andy's working on his 7th crystal, and of course, after that, he'll be in the path to tying this matchup 1-1 and forcing that ever won at game 3.
There's a small key right there, which means the big key will be on the right-hand side of this desert.
Yeah, in the first match, the big difference between PKR and Andy was Catfish. Catfish had that had those Titans, and that was the great deviator right there.
I think the big story of this match here was the fact that PinkKittyRose had to double up on Skullwoods, and also had to go up to Death Mountain one more time than Andy did, because Andy had Titans Mitt and he knows how to hover. He actually got everything done in one swoop, so he didn't have to go back up the mountain.
Yeah, having Hubbard Hookshot Cave got the red cane, which obviously put Turtle Rock in logic, and you know, PKR not really in a rush to get there, especially not having that, knowing it's still something else to find, even though it was, you know, not too far away. But that's the way it happens here.
But I definitely wouldn't say that the hover won Andy the race. I would say that the routing as a whole for Andy is what has got him this lead here in game 2 of this best of 3 in the semifinals.
Yep. So of course, if Andy is to be able to tie this up, we don't know exactly when game 3 would be, if there will be one. I mean, things can still happen here. But if there is a game 3, it will be scheduled at a future date, and they're going to stress out these players with 3 consecutive races. Nobody got time for that. But of course, you know, I'll know what to do. Keep a track of that schedule.
Well, what we can tell you is that Hippos Christos Owen, game 1, Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern. If you're out there in Central Europe, it is 10 p.m. Central European summertime. And if you're out the west coast of the United States, well, I'm sorry, first of all, but secondly, it's 1 o'clock.
Wakey, wakey. Alrighty. So that takes care of Desert, and that is the 7th crystal for Mr. Andy.
It's hot out west. I know it's hot out west. I hear about all those fires. My apologies to people who are affected by those. Anyways, we got a game to play here, Big John. Let's go ahead and do it.
Yes. So if you are a person who has the ability to use your keyboard or a speaking device or whatever you use to put in some information in the chat, we need to figure out where is that big key. There are 11 times 2, or for those who are mathematically challenged on multiplication, 22 locations where that large key can be. Type in chat between 1 and 22. Where do you think it's going to be in this race?
And if you are a supporter of Speed Gaming by way of donating 250 bits or more to any of the channels, or a subscriber to any of the channels, you can enter to go into a leaderboard. It's all for fun. We don't have any special prizes to give away, but, you know, Big John, maybe we'll give you some, maybe you give away the winner some of your free air.
You know what? In fact, I'm going to see if I can get some inside information. We got a third commentator. Alexa, where is the big key at?
Biki is a city in Łódź, Poland.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alexa, for your wise and helpful advice. What do you think it's going to be, John?
I'm going with 06.
I'm going to go with 8.
8 is grade A. Yep, this is why you don't put the future of the world in AI. Oh, Lordy. All right, so here we go. Andy making his way over to the entrance, and we'll find out in just a few.
All right, so Andy popping into Ganon's Tower, 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 25 seconds. Well, once after this entire cutscene takes place, we'll go ahead and stomp the entries for the big key guessing game in just a moment, and we'll go ahead and see if any of our guesses are correct. Shout outs to B-Links, who was our tracker for this match. A lot of great work from you, and been appreciated working with you throughout these brackets.
Yes. Our unspoken heroes, our trackers and our restreamers working so hard to provide literally all these 745.2 business weeks of entertainment for you all for this never-ending tournament. So, gotta love them.
So, chest 2 was absolutely nothing. Let's see if it was on the torch. A red rupee.
Oh, joy, more money. All right, continuing on. Let's see what our quad chest up here may have.
300 rupees inside chest 4. Blue rupee inside chest 5. Small key in chest 6. And another small key in chest number 7.
I've lost. I have lost.
Well, if it's not in this next chest, then I have lost as well.
Oh, we're just a bunch of commentating losers. Oh, the feels. Oh.
Just a piece of heart when we already have 17 full heart containers.
But let's just go for the full 20 piece. How about that? It's a sign of how many locations we've checked when you have these enormous health bars here.
Absolutely. This is the very interesting seed that had to make you go into Mimic Cave to pull out the flippers to get yourself into Swamp Palace to get the book. 2 pendant dungeons. There it is in chest 9, by the way.
There we go. If you said 9, guess what? You may have already won. I'm telling you, congrats to everybody that said 9, especially the first person that said it.
Yep, we'll get that person in just a second. As PinkKittyRose gets the crystal out of desert and is about ready to head over to Ganon's Tower.
Mm-hmm. All right, so it's looking, I would say, somewhat favorable for Andy in this current situation. Again, usually has a very, very big advantage on his, good skill of traversing up to this gauntlet. It takes, like I said, every time I see it, man, it takes a lot of skill to really master, these consecutive runes back to back to back, the optimal movement, no getting hit, lollygagging around, and like you said, Rick, it's very, very advantageous for him. In this area. He was behind,
Yeah, he's gonna really wreck it here in as far as combat. Also, shout out to a Link from this world who was the correct guesser in our big key guessing game with 9. One of our German commentators for the Speed Gaming Twitch channel.
Oh, well, guten Tag. Congratulations, mein Freund. Wir haben einen free There we go. Alrighty, so he continues to climb here, and again, Ganon fight not going to be any problem here. Obviously, we're just overkill on offense. Oh boy, the chat has turned Deutsch.
I guess this is not much to be surprising at this point. That's how you do land mode 2 for Andy, as he tackles him pretty easily, heads up here to the 5th floor.
Yep. So all I can tell you all is it's very likely that it's honestly no better way in a tournament to take these races down to 3 games. I love it personally, And if we can really get our money's worth, you know, unless Andy does something that's just quite unexpected in the last few minutes of this race, maybe we can get ourselves another tie. You all don't know, Andy was involved in a tie in the, what was it, the quarterfinals?
Yeah, which was very exciting. And, you know, that was against Zero Rush. It was a great tie right there. The only way that would happen is we end up despawning the tower, but Andy's able to go up to the 6th floor without any issues, so we don't have to worry about that at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got plenty of keys here. Just get right along these rooms. Yep. So yeah, we did have a tie. So the way the ties work, for those who are asking and curious about, you know, anytime these racers finish within 3 seconds of each other, it is acquired. No, it's basically going to be assigned to be a tie between the racers, just to account for any kind of deviation. But as a matter of fact, when it was retimed, it was actually less than 1 second. It was quite amazing to see that, because it was a really amazing fight. If you haven't seen the clip of how it finished, I won't spoil you, but you got to go watch it. It was just some amazing stuff. It was amazing to watch.
I got to see it live. It was an amazing fight, and you know, it turned out to be that 1 second difference, which, of course, in this game, in this tournament rule set, is considered a tie. As Andy gets ready to play geometry with the wizard here, I think that was just a single, which is unusual with that positioning, but he's going to get a double here.
1, 2. We're going 1, 2, 3.
Let's do 1, 2, 3 contact. Nope.
Well. So we're going to do 1, 2, 2, 1 here for those people who like, you know, palindromes. All right. So as Andy heads over to fight the evil pig monster demon, PinkKittyRose is beginning the ascent up the gauntlet.
Hikey type yelling at me in chat about the incorrect of the 3, 2, 1 contact. I'm sorry, I got PBS shows incorrect.
What? Only PBS show that matters anyway is Square One. I'm just saying. So.
No, the only one that mattered was Where in the World was Cameron San Diego.
But she sail around the world from something, something, something. That's a jam right there, yo. Do a rockapella. Yep,
do a rockapella indeed. Here goes Andy against Ganon. As we mentioned before, Butter Sword, Red Mail, Silver Arrows. This will not be a stressful fight. 4.5 hearts may seem tough, and 2.5 hearts may still seem tough, but Andy's going to persevere through this.
Who needs help anyway? Quick, someone put him in one-hit knockout mode right quick.
This isn't a bit race.
So... All right, so here we go. Already just about done with phase 3. If old boy could stop flying around here on this magic air carpet.
Did you find the silver arrows in the dark road? Oh, absolutely. That would be a triple.
Sure was.
And one more hit for Andy. There it is. And with that, Andy will walk through the door, and this series is tied.
1-1, yo. That's what we're talking about. Both of these players playing back-to-back games today. PinkKittyRose winning game 1, Andy winning game 2. And we all win because we get to have a third match between these two. And I am so thrilled about that, I must say. Indeed, the value is amazing. Man, oh man. So, of course, we'll get a chance to probably powwow with these players in a little bit here. To discuss their Team 1 or Game 1 and Game 2 actions here. We'll let PinkKittyRose wrap up the climb here. So, Game 3 is not today. I'm so sorry. I know you would love it to be. But no, we got these people take a break, catch up, you know, shower, etc.
Yeah, I just did a double.
You know, I don't know about you all, but when you play, you know, 3 randomizer seeds in a row, especially under the tension of like a tournament, yeah, maybe that's not too much for them, you know, a little break.
By the way, the official SR.TV time for Andy, 1 hour, 33 minutes, 38 seconds to even the series.
There we go. There we go. And of course, we really get our value. You know, game 3 will tie, we'll force game 4, then game 4 will tie just because why not? And then game 5. Man, where was Flute? Don't we all want to know?
Yeah, I'm interested in where the Flute is. Maybe it was at the potion shop.
It could be there, or honestly, it could be stuck on a tablet at this point. Couldn't do any of those without the book in the first place, so the film and the Flute is irrelevant. Alright, so PK started. Yeah, looks like a double to me. And double. And okay, well I guess that first one was a 1 as well then. So we got a 1-2-2-1 there as well. Yeah. So while PKR gets ready to tackle the evil pig monster, we'll talk to someone who's already taken care of that. We have the game 2 winner along with us. Caller, you're on the air. Are you there? He's a little scared, that's all. He might have his mic muted. You know how it works sometimes.
Can you hear me?
No, we can.
Yes.
Okay. Hello.
Well, congratulations on forcing game 3 there. You did it, my friend. How you feeling right now?
Game 2 was better than game 1. I was like on edge for most of game 1 after my power flickered off my SNES. Because it was storming pretty bad here. I was just worried the whole time that it was going to happen again. I didn't want to have to deal with it.
Yeah, that was a little scary moment as a viewer, I tell you that.
Yeah, thankfully at that point you didn't have the Flute, so therefore you didn't have to worry about a big loss as far as your save and quit was concerned.
Yeah, but yeah, after game 1, I also completely forgot where exactly I got the book. So checking the rest of pod was not smart of me, but you know, it happens. Game 2, it was a lot better routing wise for me. I can't believe we looked for 2 different items for Go mode for like 55 minutes. It was stupid.
I know.
Yeah, we were talking about the fact that wow, 2 items could put you in Go mode. And how often do you have a seed where that's the case, my friend?
It's you don't get too many seeds where like either Flute or book is your Go mode. Like having 2 potential items that can let you finish the game. And then not finding it for, like, I guess I got Fire Rod and Hera, and at that point it was either, you know, Flute or Book from that point. And then all of East Death Mountain, all of Dark World Death Mountain just gave me the Cane. And then Skull Woods, Thieves Town, the Smith stuff, Ice Palace all gave nothing.
How did it feel about having flippers, finding flippers in Turtle Rock? You're like, oh.
I was more worried about the mushroom actually, because I didn't do Hobo, I didn't do Waterfall Fairy stuff. So it was either do 4 items with the 3 flippers things and the mushroom, or Dive Swamp Palace. Mm-hmm. And that's like pretty close odds as to which one's going to pay off. So the match could have been determined right there. Like, I'm assuming this was a super linear seed, so I'm assuming it was relatively close.
It was so winding how your routes had changed, even from the get-go, because PinkKittyRose did the unconventional path of heading down to Mini Moldorm and also doing Eastern, because the game gave you everything for Eastern in the first 6-minute sequence of escape. So there was very little actual you guys being on the same path until Turtle Rock. So my question to you, Andy, is where did you feel you were in this race when you finally got the book out of Swamp? Did you feel behind at that point?
Not really. I figured the only way I would be behind, or it would either be really close, was if Flute was in the other path and she took that path instead.
Yeah, you were playing Follow the Leader, my friend.
Like with with the way that scene ended up playing out, I figured my execution would keep me ahead with how linear it was. You know, we had all the crystals except for desert to do, so there's no way somebody would dip Turtle Rock that early, I guess. So I was just kind of, you know, I figured my execution put me a little bit ahead at least, so I wasn't too worried unless Flute was on that other route that I didn't take.
Yeah, with you being in the lead, I wasn't really worried in regards to that because I figured your execution was going to pull you through at that stage. You could hear in the commentary, but it was one of those kind of weird things until we got the book. We had no idea where the scene was going to send you guys in that last like 20-minute stretch.
Yeah, but as a matter of fact, PKR has also finished up her seed, showing us some swag, you know, those swag 2-frame window straps on Ganon there. She don't have time to use silver. She's trying to show off some swag here. And of course, we are joined here by our Game 1 winner, PKR. How are you doing?
That was a seed. That was definitely a seed. It was slow.
My phrase is that is a noun. That's what you say. It's a noun. That's what it is.
No, this was this second game here was the seed that gave you everything in the first 15 minutes to the point that Big John's like, well, we need to slow this down. We need to slow this down. You can blame him for the hour-long search for the book.
Yeah, just a little remote coding, changing the seed on demand, I tell you. But yeah, I mean, you know, the first race, you know, we're talking about Andy's, you know, win on this one, but, you know, talk about the first game here because we always didn't talk to you. You know, you had that big advantage, you know, making that dip to catfish and getting those Titans, and that was it. That was that lead you needed.
Oh my goodness, that's like I wouldn't have gone to pod at all had I remembered where I got the lamp for. Like, I was most of the way through pod and I'm just like, wait a minute, I got a lamp on Desert Ledge and I got the book from a dark room. Idiot! And I immediately left and looked anywhere that wasn't a dark room.
Yeah, that's that logic you got to keep a track on so you don't, you know, waste your time looking in unneeded areas. And it definitely showed off on that first one there. And of course, what you both hear, I mean, how do you all feel that you all are sitting in the semifinals and we're forcing game 3? How about that?
Only seems appropriate.
It's not my first game 3 this bracket stage, so
I
kind of good.
At this stage in the tournament, you have to expect them to go 3 games. So this is definitely a series that's living up to its billing.
Indeed. But see, here's the real question, because, you know, I want to know what's up. Which one of y'all is going to win?
I
don't know. No confidence anywhere. Like, I'm about to bop this fool. That's what you. I mean, what's the confidence
the whole tournament, let alone right now. So,
John,
goodness.
I think you're gonna win as a viewer. We're gonna send these guys to a mayhem game 3.
Sounds good to me. Can I get some of my evil people in chat to make a lovely randomizer for these two, just to, you know, heighten the love for game 3? I'm just saying. What about you, Anna? You gonna win?
You
ain't gonna count either, man. Oh, let me go ask the other two
whatever I need to do to race Christos Owen. I don't care.
Oh,
if I lose tomorrow, then Chris has to lose to Hippos so I can race Chris. That's how.
Wait. Tomorrow?
yeah, we decided on just doing it at the same time as game 1 today, tomorrow, because I actually have the day off work, which, you know, doesn't happen much.
You heard it here first. 3:30 tomorrow. Game 3.
Yeah, game 3. You all. What is it? Wow. So don't miss it, you all. I'm gonna be watching. We're gonna figure out who's gonna reign supreme in Kitchen Stadium right here. Actually, you know what? I got a thing here because we had a guest announcer during your race. So, so since PinkKittyRose won game 1, Andy won game 2, I'm going to ask my co-commentator for a number of 1 or 2, and whoever the number is given for, they're going to win. So watch this. Alexa, give me a number between 1 and 2.
Your random number between 1 and 2 is 1.
Alexa said PKR is going to win.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
No.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Does that mean that I win?
I guess so.
I guess Alexa doesn't know either. Nobody knows. But I know what you should be doing. You better be here tomorrow to see which one of these two is going to move on to the finals here. This is good stuff here. So you all better not miss it, I tell you that.
Win or lose, we're not allowed to go home until... Because even if we lose, we still have to go do the bronze match, so...
Oh my goodness.
At this point, we're committed.
But yeah, man, that the other half of the semifinals between Hippo and Christos, that's Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as you heard Rick mention earlier. So we're gonna see one of these two is gonna go against the winner of that match, and they are doing theirs across 3 days, I believe, the 2nd, the 4th, and the 5th. So not as bold to do the double header, but it's all good because you want to have some more entertainment, that's for sure. Now you all can relax. You can take a break, take a breather, and just stress out all night long until you race tomorrow, right?
There's no use stressing about randomizer races at this point. Anybody can win. It's not up to us anymore.
Man, that's a bunch of winner talk. Anybody can win. You know, they done bought like 500 people to get here.
508 actually. But,
excuse me.
But who's counting?
Forget about them 8 knuckleheads. Yeah, you beat them.
I mean, there were technically pre-qualifiers, so it's more like 524.
Look at her. Even I tell you.
I mean, I still remember that unconfident player that bought me in round 1 of the brackets.
I wonder who that was.
I don't have a clue who I'm talking about. Gee, somebody.
Confidence is overrated.
This is why I don't enter the tournament. I just observe.
And then talk about it.
Actually, y'all filled that sucker up so quick, man. It was like locked up in like 2 minutes. I'm like, I was going to register myself, but sorry, locked, and we got 500 on standby. I'm like, okay, well, I'll see y'all in 2019, I guess.
Also, with Seed 1 being so fast, we were done by 7 o'clock, and that was like 90 minutes faster than I was expecting.
If I knew you were going to be done by 7... If I knew you were going to be done by 7 o'clock, I wouldn't have had to rush to have dinner before I did this.
Yeah, that was trucking, man. That was, you got go mode Andy at like hour and 20, and PKR, she finished the race in 1:18 in the first one. I'm like, jeez, man, that first one was really trucking.
And here we were ready to call it go mode at 35 minutes. All we needed was a damn piece of literature.
Beautiful.
I'm telling you. In fact, as a matter, I didn't ask PinkKittyRose, what do you think about what did you realize about, okay, I need to go up to Turtle Rock? Like, what were you thinking about when you got in there and you found that flipper as well? Were you thinking, should I leave? And you found mushroom? Like, what were you thinking about that point?
I was definitely thinking about leaving, but then I remembered way back in the Swiss bracket where I pulled that exact same move against Dragon Master and proceeded to go into a completely empty pendant swamp rather than getting the go mode item slightly further in pod.
And that's what we were thinking, because we're mentioning before you joined that, you know, Annie had that slight lead and you were kind of just doing the exact same idea. It's like, oh, if she just deviates from that path, like maybe check, you know, turn the mushroom, maybe a stair, or maybe just say, hey, there's the flippers. And Mimic, let's just say bump it, let's gamble it. Because I'm like, hey, you're already 1 game up, maybe you can just gamble it. Worst case scenario, you play again. You know, best case scenario, hey, you win it 2-0. If only you had left. But too bad, so sad. It's okay. You get to play some more.
I don't think it wouldn't have made enough of a difference anyways. I was 4 minutes behind. That's a little longer because I was busy memeing Ganon, but I mean...
Well, at that time, did you know you had lost? Did you know you'd already lost when you were just kind of just showing off your amazing frame perfect skills here?
Yeah, at that point I knew it was done. It's just like, I have this gold sword. Let's have a little bit of fun.
I tell you. Gotta love it when they put on the show for us. We're the real winners as a result, right?
Hey, I got 1 triple out of it. It was good.
Oh, my lordy.
All right, so you heard it here a little bit ago. 3:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. 12:30 if you're on the West Coast, or that would be 9:30 if you're over in Central Europe. That is when Game 3, winner takes all for these two. I'm going to look forward to watching it at work. I hope you look forward to watching it yourself. John?
Yes. So I'm just sitting here messing with my volume mixer, and I just got called to ask to do something. So I will likewise piggyback on what he said. Don't you all miss this action. Game 3 tomorrow, 3:30. Of course, Thursday starts the matchup between Hippo and Christos. We're going to figure out next week. We're going to have our finals here, best of 12. So I heard, right? 5, 3, just back to back. I don't know how you call it a 12 header, but I would love that. But yeah, don't miss it, y'all. It's been a blast. I've had a blast commentating finally with this at a Ronda rig. It's been awesome. I hope we can do it again at some point in the future. And of course, congrats to our 2 players forcing Game 3. You're both going to duke it out, and I can't wait for it. And of course, let's not forget all the other people like our tracker working so hard, unspoken heroes working so hard in the background to restream. And of course, Speed Gaming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the channels. Not that many, but soon. And I guess we'll see you tomorrow, right? For Game 3 between these 2 knuckleheads. It should be a good one. Don't miss it. One of them's going to the finals.
Looking forward to it. And also thanks to the people who helped do the commentary on our Speed Gaming Espanol channel. They can't hear us, obviously, but, we have some language experts over there doing some commentary, some great commentary as well. So stay tuned. We got more great stuff coming up here on the Speed Gaming channels. I believe our next race here on Speed Gaming 1 will be at 8 o'clock Eastern. I believe, if I'm correct, it's Super Mario Brothers 3, their Warpless tournament.
Yeah. Gotta watch SMA 3. And I'm totally not biased to I'm like for Mario. I'm just saying.
We'll see you tomorrow for Game 3. Pink Kitty Rose, Andy, all knotted up at 1 game apiece. Good night, everyone.
Peace.